Well, very special greetings. Welcome to the first program of Team Unity Dominica for 2023. This is the round table, and we normally meet on a Sunday from 3 once a week in this particular setting to update the people on the highlights of the movement's achievements over the week in review. Outside of the roundtable, Team Unity Dominica has endless engagements, publicly, privately, covertly, through surveys, seminars, through dialogues, negotiations. So the team continually works, but we at least present ourselves to the social media fraternity once a week on this mission called the Roundtable, and that's what we're doing today. So this is the first in a series of programs for 2023, and we welcome you. My name is Alex Bruno, of course, that goes without saying, and I am the General Secretary of the movement. And my position in the movement places me as the Chief Administrator, so to speak. And what that means is that I am the individual who sort of manages the administration of the movement and try to bring all the components together. So, like an architect. There are political components, there are social components, different prongs to the movement. So as General Secretary, I sort of oversee the operations in that way. But I'm not the political leader because the political operations of the movement is something totally different from its administration. So with that said, and upon the authority vested upon me, on me as the GS by the Constitution, I would like to declare that series of programs for 2023 will be conducted in a similar phase or vein as was conducted in 2022, where the movement will continue to embrace each and every Dominican, irrespective of partisan ideology, affiliation, spiritual orientation, gender, sexual preferences, or whatever. So my job is to present the party's mission for 2023. We shall not endeavor to involve in the party of mepui and division. We will instead seek to bring Dominicans of all persuasions together under the united umbrella of our team, using the colors of our national flag, guided by the statutes contained in the Constitution, which established our movement. And if people who are interested in critiquing or analyzing or judging for themselves what we are about have any interest in doing so, they could just simply request a copy of our constitution, which is already made available on social media. Read through it, see what we stand for. We are not a party in the sense that parties come. We are a new version of what parties should be moving forward. So, yes, we are interested in the affairs of the country. And we ran as a party in an election which was held in December, yes. But fundamentally, our movement is not merely a partisan pursuit. We present what we think is the new alternative that Dominicans are demanding. A movement away from the status quo, traditional partisan vibe and bickering to a more progressive approach to politics. And for these people who are going to begin a new party tomorrow or maybe the day after, pause, think. What you're going to establish might just have already been established if you only just studied what is established and believe in the message. Join the message to was to a message of progress for Dominica. That's pretty much what Team Unity is about. And I'm afraid, with my understanding for people, that there will be other movements emerging and other parties and other, because somehow it seems to be a cultural thing, well, as far as our people are concerned, that if I'm not leading it, I'm not in it. And again, let me reiterate that as General Secretary of the movement, I'm not interested in the political aspect of the movement, in terms of the seeking of office and elections or elected position. That's not my drive with this movement. My drive is to serve as an architect. Because when you build in a house, there are a number of people who are involved in the process. There's the landscaper who looks at the land and say, okay, you want to put a house there. We look at where the wind comes from. And you kind of measure where the wind, the directions of the wind, the sun, how the sun sets. And you start conceptualizing what kind of structure you put there. That's where the planning of the house comes in. And you go to a planner, not the landscape expert. You go to a planner, and he or she and the landscape expert come together and put out a plan or draft an idea to develop a plan. And then when that is done, you go to a drafts person, and that person writes the plan, draw the blueprint to create the establishment, the house. That's three people already experts. And the person who did the plan is not the one who's going to build the house or do the plumbing or do the cupboards and stuff like that. There are different experts and people all along the line. The cupboard experts can't tell the planner how to plan the house. They must do their role in building the house. And then there's the air condition expert who comes in to air condition the house if you want air condition. You see what I'm saying, guys? The electrician who decides to wire the house and put the grounding properly. Because if the grounding is not done properly, somebody's going to shock in that house. The painter who puts the paint on the house after tiles and everything is put in place. Oh no, before tiles, I think. You paint before tiles or something. Whatever it is, but there's a sequence. And then there's the roofer who does the roof. There's the baluster guy who makes the baluster. So, it's building a house is a process. It involves a number of people. And my job in building this party is just the architect, the one who designed the blueprint. And people like Erwin and Carlos and Kendra and Kenty and all and sundry assist in putting pieces to the house. So I hope and know that this is clear, that my role is my role. And each of us have a role to play. Chris has a role to play. And everyone else, I don't want to call any other names, have a role to play. So if you're a former politician or if you're trying to get a party to call your home, don't stay away from it because you think I'm in it and I'm looking to become prime minister. That's not my mission. I'm in it because I want you to join us to do something more progressive. Because you can't really remain in the same state, trying to seek progress and expect to get progress remaining in the same state. And that's what team unity is about. Not about breaking down a party or replacing a party or killing a party. It's about enhancing a country. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are on the wing, thinking whether I should jump in, what Alex saying, what Alex really want, nothing. I'm just playing my role, and I expect you to play your role. So instead of forming a new party, join this movement to help save our country, because parties have left our countries in ruins. Today, we have to have a movement to build from where. So that is my role with Team Unity Dominica as an architect, a qualified political architect who understands what we need to do as a people, as a movement, as a party, as a team. Because it cannot be that our country has been ruled by the same set of people for 25 going on 30 years. And that is normal. Even if you blame them for you not winning, and that's the most I will say about the politics before I call and introduce the leader of our movement. Even if you blame them, it cannot be that almost 3 decades of rule by a party can be the only thing that we can do, or the best thing that we can do. If that's the best thing we can do, well, let's just give up, as some people say. Well, we should not give up as yet, because I don't think that we have done the best. And I think team unity comes with that effort. And again, I reiterate that those people who are part of other parties or who are thinking of forming other parties, think twice about what you're doing and what Dominica really deserves. As I said, I am not interested in you putting me in office. I'm interested in putting you in office. So join the effort. Let's give Dominicans what Dominicans want, a new approach, a new way of doing politics. The same old will not work. So Mr. Former Party man, Mr. Former Member of Parliament, new independent candidates, etc., etc., etc. Let us work together, united under one umbrella to seek the answers that we are looking for in terms of the electoral political divide of our country. We can do it, and Team Unity presents the best opportunity for us in Dominica. That is my opening words as we start program number 1 for the year. I now introduce Carlos Charles, who is our unity leader. He led us into an election last year. We had 5 candidates, and we got over 100 votes after having been out for just 2 months as a party with no money campaigning, just about $50,000 for the launch and the campaign election. No meeting, no loud sound system. And we were able to interest over 100 Dominicans to vote for us in less than 2 months. No advertisement, no campaigning, no loud music, no sound system, no meetings. So I'm proud to be the GS of a party that had done so well for itself in such a short space of time. The only movement as well with a manifesto for the last completed election. There is no other manifesto which exists. That is the success that I stand here today on the first day of the year to boast of when it comes to Team Unity Dominica. That's why I'm so pleased to present the young man called Carlos Charles, who has been leading the mission and has been doing so admirably for the past month, because he was not leader all the time. He was just appointed leader just before election. So he's under a month as leader, and he has done so successfully. So Carlos Charles, welcome to the first program, first roundtable for 2023. I believe your first mission is to present your New Year's address. So I want to hear what you have to say, and the entire world is listening, my dear brother. I'll give you your full screen so you can go and take your time and present your New Year's address.
First of all, good afternoon, brother. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to all of the Dominicans who are both listening right now, viewing, and those who will play it afterwards. Before I go into any opening salvo, I just want to present Team Unity's independence message for 2023.
Independence message, you say,
Not independence, New Year's message, sorry.
Yeah. Hey, I take it back a point from you there, you know, my partner.
New Year's. I keep remembering that we started a few months ago, and we had independence, then Christmas, and I remember how busy the independence season was.
Yeah, man.
But notwithstanding all that, let me go into the New Year's message 2023.
Okay. Yeah, so I think let me try the full screen again. Beautiful. Yeah, all right. That's it.
Fellow Dominicans, I greet you on this first of the year 2023 with renewed hopes and belief in our nation's creed. This creed is rooted in the spirit of Dominica's constitution and the continued quest for progress which has characterized the Dominican way of life. As we bid welcome to a new year, let us rediscover our Dominicanness in the depth of despair which seems to be hovering over our people. We are part of a post-COVID era where people are challenged by the economic scarcity, mental health issues, disruption in the provision and supply of basic necessities like basic food and medicine. Dominica is in the midst of global catastrophes occasioned by climate change, human indiscretions and errors, and unexplained flukes of nature. We, however, should stand against all odds and cement our position in the ever changing world. The world has changed, and if we elect not to change, our people could become aliens in this new world. Our society is impacted by other societies. Crime has visited our shores in ways that they have not done before. Some feel helpless, some feel hopeless, and many Dominicans have simply given up. We hear this from the people we meet during our ground campaigns. We ended 2022 with the shocking reality of back to back killings of young Dominican mothers. their lives allegedly ended by their male partners. Fellow Dominicans, we are on the verge of a crisis. Let us not give up hope. 2023 can be a breakthrough year for our people and country. Unity is key to this breakthrough, and this message serves as a call for unity. Let us return to the Dominica we once knew and to being the Dominicans we once were. Let love and respect guide our relationships in 2023, and may we be patient with those who are different from us. I call on you, my fellow Dominican brother and sister, to embrace each and every opportunity to work together to solve the common challenges and the uncommon differences. It is only when we decide to work as one in the common good for all that we achieve meaningful and lasting progress. Team Unity Dominica TUD believes that this is our best opportunity at prosperity and progress. Let us make 2023 be the best year yet for our beautiful country. Let us build the country together. And with that, I say Happy New Year to everyone, and we look forward to engaging with you through the course of this year. Thank you, Ms. Professor Bruno, for allowing me to present our message. Uh, I yield to you.
Well, you're welcome. And let me tell you that I think you did a very, very good job with your message there. It's different. Your message is always so different and fresh. Very, very well, not like those that we normally hear, the blaming and the castigating and the usual rhetoric. I mean, it is just so nice to see you do your stuff. I mean, as I say, Carlos, I know you're on the other side, not on that side of the profession, and I think you're fitting in very nicely in the job. You certainly have transformed your life, your presentation, and I just want to commend you, my brother. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I think you are onto something good. There are vacancies in our country in terms of political leadership, and I think you certainly have what it takes to be one of our political leaders moving forward. So,
Well, I just want to see the opportunity present itself, and you you don't shy away from bringing meaningful change to your country. So I have to step up and put my best foot forward and do my best. And of course, with guidance from persons like you, Kenty, and even our brother Chris, um, I think I'll give it a good shot.
no problem, no problem, my dear brother. As I said, there are endless vacancies, many, and not one. No one person can fill all the vacancies. No one leader can save Dominica. It's going to take a concerted effort, as I said in my analogy at the opening. Building a house calls for a number of people to get involved in the process. And there's room for experts and there's room for people who are not experts. There's room for people who are ordinary, people who are going to just drive or carry stuff on a wheelbarrow, people who are going to use a spade, a cutter. I mean, there's the excavator, the, 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 the excavator operator who's going to clear the land. I mean, there's everybody gets involved. So this thing of one manism, one person as the hope of a country is never a smart thing. It has failed people in many parts of the world, and it has failed us in Dominica.
I don't see myself as being the savior of Dominica. I see TUD, the team, together we can fix Dominica.
Yeah, but
Uh, and the emphasis has to be on continuing to build the team so that we can be ready when we are called upon to do what is necessary to save our country.
some people are of the illusion that it is one person who has to do it. Oh, who is your leader? And the emphasis is on leader. And if yes, you need to lead the message, but you leading the message without a team is like not leading anything. The leader is important, but the team is even more crucial because you need a team to lead. And In Dominica, I think, and other countries, we have it the other way around. Oh, it's the leader, the leader, the leader. And the team people are not even major players. I mean, I cannot tell you who's the minister. Well, I think I know who's the minister for housing. I think I know who's finance and others. But I cannot tell you I cannot tell you the complete ministry of the complete cabinet of Dominican cabinet, because I don't make it my business, because it has not been a thing where the cabinet is the thing. No, in the past 2 decades, that's been the person, the man, the prime minister.
Right.
So we know who's the prime minister, and the prime minister pretty much controls things, funnels things down through him.
Right.
Again, we don't speak about those things on our program, but I'm making an analogy of how things are in our country and how what we would like to see differently. I remember, Carlos, I don't know whether you remember or whether you ever did civics at school, but I did civics at school as a schoolboy. And one of the things that I learned, we had to learn who are the prime ministers of all those Caribbean countries. And you have to know it, know who they were, and then know the cabinet of your country. So I could recite the entire Freedom Party cabinet, all who was responsible for certain ministries
At what level were you doing that?
at primary school.
Right. My primary school, that probably was in grade six. My teacher at the time, Miss Joseph, nice young lady from Kingsville area. She she made sure that we had all that information stuck in our brains. You need to know who the people leading your country are. You need to know that, and that becomes a part of the exam paper.
Yes. Okay, so we had that too. Well, not just for our country, we had to know our country cabinet, because those people who were in cabinet actually participated in running the country. They were the ones who were calling the shots in their ministries. So it was important that we knew them. And the PSCs worked with them. And they took decisions based on their ministries, not one directive coming from a source. So our ideal in TUD is not to bring that back now, but it's just to emphasize the need for that, because it didn't go anywhere. The ministers are still ministers in terms of their
The positions are still there.
Yes, the positions are still there, but the awareness of the responsibility has been lost on this idea of the leader, the leader, the leader. So we are not playing that kind of a politics in TUD. We are more broad with our responsibility. So Carlos Charles is not there to be the person who can be seen as the person to save Dominica. Oh, and they expect you to come with millions of dollars. You have a big house or 3 big houses already, and that is when you can be a leader. No, the lowliest of us sometimes can be chosen to lead. And that's where you come in, my brother Carlos. Don't be despondent. I know you have your mother's full support, your family's undying support. I know your brother believes in you 150%.
Oh, not just my brother. I have a, I have a dynamo of a sister-in-law there.
Uh, so,
I can tell you, she looks at some of the speeches and she'll tell me that what sense does a saying that make?
so the point I'm making to you is, don't be despondent, continue. And you see, the good thing you do speeches. You always have a speech, and people will analyze your political career based on the speeches you have been given. And you should start collecting your speeches. I think you have given about 5 or 6 speeches already. Collect them. And that is what people are going to use to analyze your work going forward, my dear brother. You are in a good boat, you are in a good stead. And people like you, I must say, are the ones who have me trying still today. Had you not stepped up, I probably might have, hung up my 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 guns, because there are some who prefer me to hang it up, and because they think that where I'm trying to go with it is not where we should go. People who think I should just be.
Like you, I have friends who are, and probably even some family members who have told me, I mean, why you wasting your time in Dominica for? You're a young man, you're a brilliant young man. You should try and see if you can better yourself in a bigger country somewhere else. In my mind, I was born in Dominica. Dominica is mine. Yes, I can get some talent that is offered overseas that is not available in Dominica. I get some knowledge and develop myself, but largely I rather be able to live right here at home. I'm sure you wish you were in Dominica, Alex. Today's
100%.
today is Sunday, the first day of the week and the first day in the year 2023. You would be in Kalibishi this afternoon, I'm sure.
Enjoying the little sea breeze.
Okay,
Without a doubt,
okay.
circumstances move certain people out. And there will always be circumstances to move other people out. But when those circumstances become overbearing and people just give up on the country, you're surrendering a piece of paradise to those people who have been enjoying it for the past 3 decades. And you only make it better for them when we keep absconding. So, as you said, of course, I would like to be there, but I'm not. And people may say, well, you're not there, you tell people to be there. Yes, because there are those gatekeepers who must do it. Because we didn't abandon Dominica. Carlos, I've not spent 1 second not thinking about not abandoning Dominica. Every minute of the day, as you know, is something to do to try to help somebody to fix something in our country. But we cannot all be in the same place at all times. And the way the world is now, we can contribute being out of Dominica. In fact, I think I'm in Dominica more than a lot of people who live in Dominica. There are people who live and work in Dominica and control the affairs of our government who spend less time in Dominica than I do. So, I mean, the notion that people say you don't live here, you cannot try to do things here, doesn't add up. We have to work, we have to step up. So, on this first program of the year, as the GS of our movement, I just wanted to encourage you because it takes a lot of guts to step up. And you did it. And so far, so good, my brother. I honestly, I mean, if you look at yourself 2 months ago, look at yourself now, Carlos, you will see the growth. You see it. No, you don't have the money to show for it or the benefits that normally comes with it, but it will come in time. And the people who may oppose you are those who do not want you to get the benefits that you certainly will get if you continue playing the game of politics. The politics of power. Right. Your power is a game. Politics is life. A power is a game, and I dare say you are a good player. And continue playing on, my brother. Continue playing
The game just starts.
on.
It's just starting. That was all there.
Solely on, man. Marshal on. Because again, I don't really like teaching, but I cannot help it but to teach, sometimes, Like we all understand politics and we see it, we group politics into everything. Oh, politics is power, is economy, is authority, is legitimacy. Politics there's politics in everything that we do.
Mhm.
But power is different from politics. Authority, governance is different from power. Because you can be in power and not govern properly. Or you can govern to get power the next time around. The people who are in power, Carlos, never stop campaigning. There's no season for campaigning politics. Oh, election over, stop the campaign. Really? But everything that they do in office is to continue to win. So
Yes.
they want you not to campaign, but while they're doing their clever campaigning using the
In
statements.
the background quietly.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't,
yeah,
don't do it, let me do it.
exactly. So that is a game. That's a game of power. And I think you understand it. And with that encouragement, I mean, I really want to wish you well. I will stand with you, Carlos. I'll take the bullet if I have to take it with you. But because of the state of the openness of the politics in Dominica of late, people like you will easily find a role and maybe a job too in the political. Politics is, I mean, some people work as professionals. Like our prime minister is a professional. That's what he does. It's a job. He's serving as prime minister, but he's working. He's getting paid. And who would want to do that? It's a good job. To be a minister is a job as well. You get paid. To be a PS is a job. It's okay to want that job. There's nothing wrong in that. And people who are in those jobs now should not feel bad if you want to take a job from them. It's made a better candidate win, made the person who do well best win. And that is how we should see it. We should not see the people who are going up against as our enemies.
Anyway,
No, man, they're our opponents, man. You should talk to your opponents, shake hands, debate. Banter.
Yes.
That is how you're going to beat them. You can't stay away from them and give them distance and give them everything. Look, take all and expect to win them.
No, no, no.
You have to outsmart them, outfox them. But anyway, these are the conversations we have behind the scenes. Let's not speak about that publicly. I'm just sharing those things with you because I really want to encourage you, Carlos, boy. Because boy, over the past 2 years, there, boy, I've had conversations with certain people who I really felt understood, and they do understand. But as I said on my program before, this one, they are very selfish. They understand, but they do not want to do what the people want them to do because they want to benefit and they want their parties to benefit from what the people want them to do. So if they're not going to benefit, they're not doing it. And boy, so many Dominicans who are supposedly qualified, high profile, big names, who just choose not to do what you are doing now because it would jeopardize their ideals, their goals, their selfish, whatever it is. And that's why I find you quite selfless. You do not have much, but you're already willing to sacrifice what you do not have in the benefit of your people and your country. And I think, Carlos, you're going to be blessed, my dear brother. You're going to be blessed and rewarded highly for stepping up at a time when you needed to for our country, when our country needed somebody, and not just somebody, many people like you to step up. And I foresee that before this year is ended, you will have a cadre of people with you who are highly influential, very well known, and who will be ready to take the reins of government moving forward in our country. You will have more than five. Okay, you had five the last time, four and new five. I think you should have a cadre of 21 or 20 who are willing to take the fight and to really take Dominica into a different dispensation. That is what I see in the next year. In 12 months, we should be able to identify 20 very, very serious candidates who make very good.
Well, let's hope they don't call another snap election on us.
Oh, well, I know, well, that is a consideration again, you know. But don't you think that'll be another snap election too soon, boy?
We might you never know. I mean, it shouldn't be so. But the prime minister, whoever that person is at that time, has the liberty of calling it whenever he or she so desires. So
Okay,
we have to be always be working in preparation mode, and I suspect that is anyway. Let's not go down that. But yes, we should always be in preparation mode.
so let us fast track, not just have one plan, but let's have several plans. So the long term, medium to long term plan is 1 year. Let's have a month plan then, because or 2 months, 3 months plan, contingency plans. In fact, the people who believe that they have a contribution to make and a role to play, the platform has been created. Let's play that role on that platform. You can determine how we could tweak, change, whatever, but get involved, man. Don't. Let us get involved and do it unitedly, man. Because the way we have been doing it have not worked. The way that we have done it for how many decades have not worked. We have to start afresh. Now that we have started afresh with Team Unity, let us find a way to make it work. Because the last way was not working. So we could have another snap election. Let's not get caught unprepared or off guard. We have time now. Come into the fray, offer your expertise. Let's agree to disagree, and let's move on. So instead of a year, let's get ready within 2 to 3 months to be the next government of our country. We can be that, but we all must believe that we can and do it together. We can't do it separately. And I particularly, Carlos, would like to reach out to the independent candidates, those who run independent and those who won, to think of yourself as the new start, because that's what people have been saying, and do things that will benefit the people, not the party that you think should be your. I don't even think the independents should be thinking parties now, including TUD. TUD is not even a party in that light. We are a platform for unity, and they should think of us and to sort of maybe speak, borrow some of our ideas to plan for the future. That's why I said publicly that these people they put in the Senate and so will determine whether they know where we are and what we should be doing. And I think I heard a young lady called as a senator, and that is a good sign. I do not know the other senators as yet. I think I heard another name of a gentleman. I do not have any comment on that, but I think futuristically, the picks that you make should be determining where the politics is going to go, and the people want something new, fresh, a new way, a different approach. So the independents now who are in the parliament, let us talk, gentleman and lady. Let's have a conversation. You don't have to join the team, but at least let's do it for the people. And we have advice and ideas that could assist you, and you have that could assist us. And if at the end of the day we think we can do it together unitedly, let's do it. Because as independent candidates in the future for Dominica's politics, that will not work. You should be part of a team, a progressive team. So it's early yet in your reign. Do whatever you have to do, but at some point in time, I think the best conversation that you can have is with Team Unity Dominica on the way forward. Carlos, I hope I didn't say too much about that.
Well, I've said what I have to say regarding that privately and publicly in various mediums. Um, but the door is open for everybody. Right now, the concept of the team unity, it's just been born a few months ago, and especially prior to the election we just had. Um, we want to grow the concept and allow the idea of the team, more persons of different persuasions, um, and enough of the. This is because, Mr. Bruno, the in some businesses, for example, in Dominica, you have. I won't use any particular business or institution as an example, so because I don't want anybody to feel attacked. But there's a lot of the times that we have people sitting in positions for many years, 20, 10, 15. Not saying that somebody doesn't have to continue in a position to doing a good job, but I'm not talking about politicians per se, but in business. You need to make space for upward mobility for the every year there are new college graduates. Where's the space for the new qualified people that we training to come in to contribute in the various sectors of society. So we need to create this space so that the upward mobility can happen. We see it happening in customs, for example. The
Mm,
first the comptroller is changed regularly.
yes.
But in a lot of other sectors of society, you don't see that. So the young people are not encouraged to come back and be part of those institutions because okay, so I come back and work there, and I'm just going to be a junior clerk after I work hard for my masters or my bachelor. You know, I need a good job. So then we have the brain drain that we constantly suffering from, and we should be looking at ways to change that. Another thing that we cannot overemphasize is the the the, the technical sectors. Before we had the technical vocational programs that was done away with in favor of the more academic ventures. Yes, academics are fine, but countries largely depend on the technical people to build the country. Look at our brother Kenty, a handyman, professional. If it's not for people like that, if your toilet block and the plumber is not, I mean, the plumber can know how to do it academically, but if you don't have the finesse, the touch, the hands-on, the, you're at a loss. Even me being, I'm an academic as well, but I'm also a technical person as well. Your bathroom. is, and that is, these things are simple things, but they're very critical, Alex.
Yeah.
Very critical. Your bathroom is leaking, and you're unable to take a basic thing as a shower, because if you do that, your whole house flooding, and you cannot find somebody to come and fix that on a holiday, because the persons who are able to do it is are older, and they're taking their break. Whereas, we allow the cycle to turn and people to continue coming in, and make space for the ones coming in, and the ones already in, make space for those who are there. So move on to something better, grow into something different. Yes, you can be working for government, but also you can also develop your own business. That kind of thing, and grow the economy, make the country turn.
Yeah. Well, but that is what we're about. Try to excite growth and movement, mobility within the country and then the economy, the people in the productive sector, in the essential services. It's like people rely on one person generally. And that is the calamity in our country. We are in crisis state.
And
You
as you
know,
say that, Alex, let me just thank the young ladies who were with me last evening on the program we had on our present crisis that we find ourselves in Dominica.
yeah.
Um, Dr. Triffy and Mrs. George
Yeah.
Carbon.
Petra Carbon George, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, these ladies were very nice last night. I enjoyed the time engaging with them. And if, for those who may not have seen the program last night, I encourage you to go back and play the program. And yes, that may be the longest program we've had on the platform, but it was timely, and from all reports, it was very well received.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have had some big programs, but this was woo, this was a huge. And again, feather in your cap again. You're the one who produced it, organized it, set it up, and you presented it too. That was a huge program last night. I felt very very good, and our team, the founders, and our team members should feel very very pleased with the successes we have had, especially that last night program. To have these two esteemed, beautiful, strong Dominican women stand with you and to really present information that nobody else could do the way they did it. That was amazing, Carlos. I really did enjoy last night's program. And they were
And I
all
want to put a call out to the men. I put a call out to the men. So the men need to
step
join
up.
in. Yes.
So
Step
you
up.
have Chris there already. Chris is one. Chris cannot say no. And others, maybe a professional man, couple professional men, and you could have a talk with the men as well, because I am learning that the alleged perpetrator of the crime, because this lady died, a couple of them died, so crimes were committed. But allegedly, those I was told one of the guys who who purportedly committed the crime was found dead or in an unresponsive way, lifeless, sort of. Um, and it would be good to hear from men as well, because we had two ladies dying and now a brother has succumbed. How do we do? Do we sympathize with the family of this man who was just found in an unresponsive, lifeless position? Should we not, as humans? So probably we need some experts to come again and regular people to come and to have a conversation.
Based on the discussion with the ladies last night, we could say that our society need to step up a little more and not leave the onus on governments. We need to go back to our roots. We need to go back to supporting each other. If we hear something, we need to say it. We need to go back to the days where where it's all about the family, where a brother or an uncle will not see something and not say something. or do something about it. We need to go back to those days,
Yeah.
unless to everybody. Well, I mean, everybody minding their business, but at the same time, we need to care for each other.
And not just the family, as a unit, but the family as a community, because the
Right.
community was one family. In my village of Kalibishi, my family was my family, but my family was the village, because my George, Fijeni, Jejin, Vava, Nenen, Lut, Son, Hiram, they were all bigger people, parents who looked after me. So I had many, many parents. We don't have that quite the same way now. So not just the government. We can point fingers if we wish, but sometimes when you point a finger, four pointing back at you, it's us. We have to really love each other again and embrace each other again. That's why this call for unity, I've kept on saying it. At the end of the day, is who persevere and what we do with the mission. I again, when I was on the island last, doing my little wrongs in the east, I went to a place and we were having a conversation, and this gentleman told me, "Boy, Dominic, I finished. People look here with nothing. People is money. People want. People can do any money. People have. They can buy anything." So I say, "No, Dominica is not finished. Yes, people need stuff, so people go to people with money to get stuff, and that's a problem. And they can see it's a problem." He said, "Yeah, Dominicans don't care about them. They're good." And then I said to him, "Well, your beautiful daughter who's right there. Are you going to tell her that anything can be purchased, including her? So can a man buy her?" You know what the man told me in the presence of his daughter? He told me yes.
Wow.
I say so. I'm with tears in my eyes, tearing up. The brother told me in the presence of his beautiful daughter, yes.
Wow.
The girl was shocked. She said, "But Ali, no." Because she too support his politics, but she could not believe that he agreed, yes, that money could buy his child. Carlos, we're in a bad way in Dominica. And it's not just one person or one group of people, it's the entire community must decide to fix our country. If not, we're going to lose our country. And that's what Team Unity is about, trying to build a movement to help save. First of all, beginning with the administration and then to reform the entire country. Because in our manifesto, we talk about the many different initiatives that we would do if we were in government today to
And
reform.
we cannot overemphasize that it's the only manifesto available for the last general election by a party.
Yes. And the naysayers better remember that no matter what you say, if you don't think we didn't win and we never win a seat, yes, but who was the only party with a manifesto? And if you turn the manifesto, Carlos, to page 9 and 10, I think, and if you open it up to the camera, people will see and they can have a glance of all those different initiatives that we said we would have created to rebuild the Dominica. There are a whole host of things that we've done that we said we would have done. And if the government that's in office now would take the people seriously, they would implement those programs. Carlos, the national, you can mention them, a few of them you can read because my eyes is not as good as yours and I don't have it in front of me. You're younger than me, no boy. But you can mention a couple of them that we say we would do as a way of rebuilding the Dominica to what we know Dominica was. And some of you sent me a message this morning.
The one I want to national endangered species preservation, and that speaks to the opportunities for men and boys who are vulnerable to crimes, and our women and girls
Huh.
who are susceptible to being used because of the challenging circumstances they face.
And
The- the-
that was done long before this incident. And if we were in governments today, we would have had that in place or putting this in place to respond to certain crisis situations. Right, Carlos? It's there. It's
all,
documented.
all, all those things are there. all these ideas are there. And if anybody wants to have a look, there's a link on right there on our Facebook page to our manifesto, and you can read it just as if you're reading a book online.
Yeah, it flicks, flicks, flicks.
Page.
And it's not a really lengthy document. You could read that manifesto within an hour. So just spend some time and read it. For those people who keep on saying, what is your plan? What is this? Here is the plan. Now come help us live the plan. If we were in governments today, that's the plan that would be implemented to reform the economy from the dependency on passport sales to a more rounded economy, a
So,
green economy.
Mr. Government, Madam Minister, we have ideas in there. We encourage you to use it. So of course you can give us credit for it, but the ideas are there. Use it. Dominican needs it.
But it's the only ideas that were presented for the last election. No other party claimed to do no, that they will do anything for the people. You know, we are the only ones, Carlos. We are the only party that claim we are going to do this. It is there in black and white. Show them the manifesto again, Carlos.
Not black and white now. Color.
In color. The manifesto. We had a plan. We have a plan. No other party gave a plan. So use it. As Carlos said, give us a little credit. We don't mind if you use it and you succeed and you win 10 more elections, but do something for the people. Look at it. And it's there. It's well laid out, guys. Just take it and run with it. We don't need to be in the house. We don't need to be in government. That is how you criticize someone, by looking at what we do and finding loopholes in it. Not just dismissing someone because you don't like us or because you think we're going to replace you. Don't let us replace you. Stand up and try to maintain your position. So again, as we enter a new year, we hope that people will be more mature and will approach the things of politics from a more respectable point of view. And that's why I like people like Mr. Boston. He is someone who has always spoken like this. He comes from the old school of politics, Johnson.
Also,
Yeah. And I applaud him for maintaining that kind of a political posture. So people like Bosso, I hope we can speak together and find a way to chart a new course. The old course not working. And as I said, the party that's in office now in Dominica never promised anything as a contract with the people as we did. So now they can just do what they want. But if had we been in office today, we would have been implementing the new Dominica movement. Certainly our economy would still be struggling, but we would be diversifying and putting plans in place to move away from the dependence, the over-reliance on one crop passports. See, Carlos, so that's what we're going to be doing more of in 2023. I may not always be with you on the Sunday program. Whenever you need me, I'll jump in. But go ahead as the leader, my brother, put your panel together. And anytime you need me, just let me know. I will jump in with you and I'll help you to promote the cause, but make it happen and lead this thing, my brother. It's your thing to do.
Well, we started on a good footing, introducing the closing the year and starting the new year. I mean, sad situation, but we have to lead by example and making in finding solutions, I should say.
And what we did, what I like about what we did yesterday is that's certainly a crisis. For people who don't see it as a crisis, it is a crisis. I mean, 2 people's daughters were killed. Another daughter of a daughter which was killed was stabbed.
You have 7 children without parents right now.
And
Without parents.
That is a crisis. Look, a gentleman who allegedly committed one of the crimes turned up being dead, possibly. My brother, we are in crisis. We had 18 murders in 2022. Small population. I said that on my program. This is a crisis. The politicians may not want to accept it, but it is. What we did yesterday We didn't just put out a statement, generic, read the statement. We created a platform where we had experts and professionals come in and we had a conversation. It's recorded. That's why we're talking about that program, Carlos. Because you don't just put out a statement in certain things. Sometimes you just have to deal with the situation, give people an opportunity to vent. And I saw people on our live last night who had never been on a live before. And they participating as well in the discussion. So as a party, we choose how to engage. We don't just put things out and say, here. Nah, we measure our involvement. Sometimes we don't get involved in certain discussions either. But when we do it in a way that is sustainable. So that somebody tomorrow can come and say, here is what the responsible party did in response to a crisis. Not just putting out a 5-minute statement, but speaking about the issue with professionals and trying to give comfort. One of the things I saw Brother Lofty did, which was a real good thing. Lofty is one of somebody we must keep our eyes on as well. He's a good man. He's doing a lot of civic work on the ground. And he went to Mount Prosper yesterday or the day before, and he did some live, and it hurt me because he did a live and he was showing the blood still and the pools of blood still on the street, and that was painful for me, who's not a direct relative watching. And that's one of the things I think we could have done better. I think the authorities should have already cordoned off that place. And
that's a weakness, our thing, that our policing that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, man.
One of our other social media advocates have mentioned that in a live he did sometime last year.
Yeah.
Police need to step up to the plate. You cannot allow scenes of crimes to be contaminated by onlookers.
Yeah, no, I do not. The media will do what the media has to do. So I'm not against Lofty or
the media has to do their work. I come from the school of media, so I'm always for the media.
Yeah, the media go on the scene. The media has to shoot, and you cannot tell the media don't shoot. If the media can take you for Zoom, they take in you. You cannot say don't shoot me. That's the media's job. I hear fellas, police telling the media, turn off your camera. You cannot take what?
Give me your camera.
No way. As media, remember that you can shoot anything that's in sight. So Lofty did well to shoot the scene. But the police should have already given restrictions and taken off the blood from the streets. I mean, how can you have people? I mean, that's somebody who bled last there and died there and in pools of blood still at that time of day. And the boyfriend of the daughter of the slain woman is there right over the pool of blood talking on camera. No. So no issues for Lofty there, but the authorities, man, must do better. I'm not sure whether they need retraining or whatever, but clean the blood, man. Flush it out, clean it out. Call a priest or a pastor and have I call it again, the intercession, some consecration, something. Cleanse the place, man. So anyway, my partner, I guess you get the point, right?
I think we get the point.
Yeah. But outside of that, I think we just have to come together and fix our country and stop relying on one group of people to do it for us, because probably they're just not interested in doing it for us, or probably they do not know how to do it, or probably they're so selfish about their own things, they don't know what they have to do. New era, my brother, new year. I mean, and I think our team is certainly leading that conversation. So let's continue to lead. As I said before, let me know when you need me to step in. Otherwise, I'll just be there assisting you in my ways. I think my job is done to bring us to the point that we need to be now. So you leaders now must take it and run with it, Carlos. Run with it, my brother. Get new people on board and go save our country, my brother.
And for persons who will be looking out, you'll see things happening around the island. We'll be engaging various sectors. We'll be trying to do our bit. We cannot leave it for one set to do. You have to do your bit as much as you can, and as well encouraging investors overseas to come and invest in the country in various sectors of society. I mean, yes, things are hard, but we have to find ways to make it better.
With that said, that's our program, 1 hour, 60 minutes. I would like, on behalf of Carlos, who is the team leader, who will have the last word as well, and the other founders and other executive members, to wish you a very, very productive new year, with the hope that we can find ways to unite and work together in the interest of our country and our people, not one particular party. In next week, Sunday, if I'm back on, if Carlos wants me on. Stay well, and we're looking forward to engaging with you. Mr. Leader, the last word.
Yes, I just want to thank those who tuned in, those who will continue to tune in, particularly single out our brother Chris. Chris is our brother. Chris who always engages with Timmy. Chris, you need to come down because for us to book a braff for us. Let us talk some more. Oh yes, folks, we're happy to continue fighting for Dominica and contending for our country. Um, yes, we just had a mid-January election in the latter end of 2022. You never know what 2023 is going to bring. Team Unity is going to continue building the party. The formation has already been set. We just want to, the doors are wide open for anyone who wants to come in. Just engage with us. And let's see what we can do for our country. We need to turn the page. With that said, I think that's the end of our program for today. You will hear from us. Stay close to our social media um, channels, and we will be back very soon.